Man, welcome back. You already know who it is. It's your boy Q Walker in the building with my guy
Keezy.
Keezy with the good hair. And this is our NBA weekly recap show where we go over the past week's highlights, storylines, and everything all in between. First things first, we are glad to have the NBA back. It's the NBA restart. Man, I couldn't wait. I mean, we've been off for what, 4 months?
Yeah.
5 months. Ain't really had much to watch. In between that time, they played old NBA games. They played the 2016 NBA Finals. You know, the Game 7 LeBron block and all of that. I mean, that's
I didn't watch that.
You should have watched it. But anyway, it was very educational for a lot of people. But you know, of course, they had the Last Dance documentary that came out. What was it? Was it May when it came out? April, May, to try to hold people over until, you know, the NBA got together what they was gonna get together. So Keezy, what was your thoughts on the Last Dance soap opera?
Man, I loved it. I'm glad these young bucks got to see the GOAT in action for a little bit.
Hold on. Change it.
I'm glad that the young people got to see the GOAT in action. And when I say GOAT, I'm referring to Michael Jeffrey Jordan.
LeBron James.
Negative.
LeBron Raymond James.
They showed all the old highlights. They showed him going in people's necks. They showed, they did show a little crazy stuff behind the scenes. But other than that, it was a success.
They did. They showed them, go out and the tough guys like John Starks and you know what I'm saying, and Chris Mullins and you know what I'm saying, those guys and Byron Scott, the key and most influential players of the 90s. He went at those necks, the Nick Andersons of the world. You know what I'm saying?
They showed a lot of players from the 80s. They showed players from the 90s.
Right.
And they showed Mike killing all of them.
In the 80s when he was killing.
Yeah.
How far did he get?
When he won Defensive Player of the Year, when he won MVP, when he
it?
won the scoring title all the time, when he won Rookie of the Year.
Was that it?
And when he was on the team with Bill Cartwright and 12 other players we can't name. He's on the team with Kyle Macy.
Kyle Macy got buckets.
He was a starting point guard, I believe, for the team. Come on, man.
He was, but at the same time, ain't your job supposed to make them better? Because I know a guy.
How am I supposed to make my teammates better? By going to practice. We talking about practice.
All I know is I know a guy who turned J.R. Smith into a champion.
J.R. Smith was already getting buckets way before LeBron came along.
So was Kyle Macy.
No, he wasn't.
Kyle Macy. Look it up. Kyle Macy, I guarantee you Kyle Macy was averaging over 15 points before Jordan got there.
He averaged 3 points and 4 assists a game. That's it.
After Jordan got there?
Before and after.
But that's neither here nor there. The point is that Jordan had enough help, but he couldn't get past.
He had enough help. You know what? We starting off on the wrong foot. We're not gonna talk about Michael Jordan and LeBron James today. We're gonna move on. I'm just happy sports are back.
Man, but the Last Dance documentary, the little soap opera, the autobiography, it was cool. I mean, it was great. The thing about that, Keys, is like when we was growing up, we old enough to remember a lot of these games, right?
Right.
You from Hoptown, right? Glasgow. So up here in Lexington, Kentucky, where we filming at, Chicago had its own station. It was WGN. WGN. Yeah. So up here it was Channel 11. So we got a lot of Bulls games up here. So I'm not gonna pretend like I didn't watch Bulls games because I did.
Please don't.
But and ESPN in the mid to early 90s wasn't what it is now. So it wasn't like it was on all day long like it is now. So when a basketball game came on, that was pretty much your only chance to watch the game. You know what I'm saying? And then of course they had the NBC on Sundays. They had those matchups.
Ahmad Rashad, they had all that.
Yep. So pretty much you was only getting 2 games a week. Whatever was on WGN and then NBC, and that was it for the week. But the thing about that is that the Bulls, it was cool because we remember a lot of the stuff. But the behind the scenes stuff, man, was really dope. To me, it's not gonna sway my opinion on Jordan because at this point, it is what it is.
He's the GOAT, exactly.
It is what it is, and a lot of the footage and stuff didn't sway my opinion. But it was cool for him to come out with that autobiography to let people know how he was back in the 90s. But anyways, we're gonna fast forward up to 2020 because I'm about tired of talking about that boy Jeffrey Jordan. Because everybody knows he only put that documentary out because.
Because why?
Because LeBron James is at his throat.
No, LeBron's still not close. But go ahead though. Like you said, we're gonna move on to something else.
Well, define not close.
He's not close.
Define not close. What's not close? Is he second, third?
He's top 6 or 7.
Top 6 or 7. Top 6 or 7. Wow.
Exactly. When you go from 1 to 6 or 7, that means you're not close yet.
So who would you have behind Michael?
Magic.
Okay.
Kareem.
Okay. No particular order. Just
no
okay.
particular order. Magic, Kareem. You got Oscar Robertson.
Okay.
I mean, you got Kobe.
Okay.
You got Shaq.
Okay.
You got a lot of dudes you can put in there. I'm not gonna put Larry Bird ahead of him, which I've heard some people doing recently. But I'm not gonna put Larry Bird ahead of him. Although Larry Bird was nice.
Could Larry Bird play today?
Yeah, because he can shoot.
Well, how much would he average? What would he be? Because back then, he was pretty much, I think 27, 9, and 8, or 27, 9, and 9. But what would he do today?
He would. I don't know. I mean, you could compare Dirk to him, I say, because they both.
I wouldn't even say that. I would say I wouldn't even give Dirk the comparison because Dirk's taller, so he can do a little bit more than Larry Bird. But I mean, today Larry Bird would be. I don't know. I say he'd still be 22, 23.
Luka?
Well, you know what? That's good. If Luka can average 29, 9, and 8 in today's game, Larry Bird can average 29, 9,
there
and 8.
We go.
Yeah,
now we're getting somewhere.
Yeah,
You finally agreeing on something.
You know what? Yeah, I'll take that. If Luka can average 29, 9, and 8 and can't jump over a Jet magazine,
nah.
I would say Larry Bird could still kill. But anyway, the NBA restart is happening on July the 30th, right?
30th to 31st.
31st. So the NBA said that as far as the seasonal awards, they were gonna go by when the season stopped. So this is our first show of the NBA Weekly Recap, so we thought it'd be fitting to do our NBA awards of who we think is gonna win which award. So Keezy, we're gonna start off with the most improved player. I'm really interested to see, man. I don't know where you're gonna go with this, man. But go ahead, the floor is yours.
It took me a while on this one. I thought about this one. I changed my pick back and forth about 3 times, but I'm gonna go with Bam Adebayo from the Miami Heat.
Bam Adebayo. So what made you go with Bam?
So he increased his scoring about 7 points a game. He's up to 10.5 rebounds a game. He went from 2 assists to 5. And he increased his blocks by about a block a game. Mm-hmm. He's up 23 minutes a game to 34 minutes a game.
Okay.
And like you can see in the highlights, he's Swiss Army knife on defense. He guard multiple positions. Mm-hmm. And that team has looked a lot better. I mean, they did get a little help in the offseason, but that team has looked a lot better since he's taken on a bigger role.
So you said you had to go back and forth between 2 players.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's the same 2 players that I went back and forth. Was it B.I. and Bam?
No.
What?
No. My second pick was Devontae Graham from the Hornets.
Okay.
So check out his improvement. So he went from 4.7 points a game all the way up to 18.2 points a game. 2 assists a game all the way up to 7.5.
Okay.
So he went from playing 14 minutes a game up to about 35 to 36 minutes a game.
Okay.
Since Kemba left.
Okay.
So he improved 14 points a game, and he pretty much stepped right in. Him and Terry Rozier, and pretty much the Hornets haven't really missed Kemba Walker because of him.
I would say they didn't miss Kemba Walker only because they're still in the same boat.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that was like he improved by what the stats you was giving me. He improved, and Terry Rozier, was a nice addition. I mean, but those 2 still aren't going to make the Hornets relevant in the East. I don't know what's going to make the Hornets relevant in the East. I guess
nothing.
It's because of their owner, right?
No, it's not because of the owner. There's just certain teams that aren't gonna do anything, and the Hornets are one of them. Just like the Phoenix Suns.
But the Phoenix Suns had a run in the early 2000s, mid 2000s.
That's because they had an MVP caliber player.
So you mean to tell me that
the Hornets don't have an MVP caliber player, and they're not gonna get one unless they draft one. So.
But the player that they did have, they didn't want to pay him no money.
Kemba.
Yeah, you got to start somewhere though, fam. Like Charlotte.
But you really want to build your team around Kemba Walker though?
No, you might not want to build your team around Kemba, but you gotta have somebody to entice somebody else to want to come.
But if you can take Devontae Graham and get good production from him, like you was getting from Kemba Walker, then
no, that's not good enough. That's not good enough because Devontae Graham is not gonna make somebody say, you know what, I might want to come.
I want to go play for the Hornets.
Yeah. Now Kemba Walker, I'm not saying he's a superstar. He's a star player, but if you get another star player that's a free agent, it might be like, okay, me and Kemba, we might be able to do some things together. Like say for instance, Tobias Harris and a Kemba Walker.
That's not enough.
It's not enough, but you have more than what you previously had.
Yeah, but you still sit in the same situation though. You still gonna be a lower tier team.
They 5-6 seed with Tobias and Kimball.
You think so?
Yeah, Tobias and Kimball. Yeah.
And they have 5 or 6 seed. Okay, you still not gonna win a championship or nothing like that. So it's all for nothing.
It's the same thing. So
yeah.
me, I went back and forth, man. But my two that I was going back and forth over was Bam and Bi.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, at first, I was like, man, but Bi, he's killing. But the only thing is with Bi is that his stats didn't go up that much.
Exactly.
He only went from 18 points per game up to 24. His rebounds went from 5.1 to 6.3. His assists went from 3 to 4, and his blocks leave something to be desired because he's too long not to be playing good defense. So I was like, but then he plays on the Pelicans. Then they got Drew Holiday, Lonzo Ball, Zion Williamson, JJ Redick. So I was like, well, and he's an all-star. So I was like, but he just, I don't know, man. Some players have it, and Bam not Bam, but Bi just doesn't have it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like when you see it, it. Like yeah, he got it. And I think what Bi is now, I think he's gonna be there for the rest of his career.
Right.
I think he is who he is.
And let me tell you why I didn't.
I mentioned why you didn't go with Bi.
I just feel like Brandon Ingram just gets more opportunities with the Pelicans than he got with the Lakers last year.
Of course, obviously.
So he's taking like 6 or 7 more shots a game.
Yeah.
And I think he's taking 4 more threes a game or something like that. So that pretty much adds up for the extra 6 points a game right there.
But I'm with you, Keezy, man. I went with Bam Adebayo myself, man, for the same exact reasons that you said. His scoring increased from 8 points per game to 16. His rebounds went from 7 to 10. The most important thing that I was most impressed about was his assist. His assist went from 2 to 5. That lets me know he's a good passing big man. Of course, his blocks went up from pretty much under a 1 block to game to just about 2 blocks a game. And I was really going back and forth like I mentioned earlier, but the thing that sold me was, I know it's going to sound crazy because everybody's going to say, what is the assist part?
Uh-huh. So he fits right in that offense. He does a little bit of everything. He really helped. I think he's probably the unsung hero of the team. I know they got Jimmy Butler and they got a lot of 3-point shooters and stuff like that, but I think without Bam, he really brings it all together for him.
He really does. And people like the 5 assists. It's like, man, you don't understand how those 3 more assists account for points. They could be kickouts for threes. There could be so many different things. But I gave it to Bam for most improved because everything improved. Is like you mentioned earlier, his minutes, points, rebounds, everything has improved. And of course, he was a first-time All-Star this year as well. So he was well deserving. So we both agree with Bam.
I can't believe that.
I thought I could have swore you was going to go a different direction, but Bam Adebayo is who we both got for most improved player of the year. So we're going to go on to our second one here, and who we said we was going to do next. We said we're going to go 6th man of the year.
6th man of the year, a.k.a. the Lou Williams Award.
This one right here, I can't wait to see what you go with on this one because there's so many different opportunities and ways that you can go with it. So go ahead, Keezy, floor is yours. Who you got?
So I want to do a co-6th man of the year. Is that possible?
Nah, this ain't no co-MVP. This ain't no co-rookie of the year. Right. This ain't Jason Kidd and Grant Hill. Nah, bro.
Well, I'm not going to go with Lou Williams. I'm going to go with his teammate, Montrezl Harrell.
You going to go with good old Trez Harrell?
Good old Trez Harrell off the bench, averaging 18.7 rebounds, 1 block, and he's shooting 58% from the floor.
I can't believe you going Trez.
Why not?
I just can't, man. I don't know. Man, as you can see in the highlights right here, man, as Trail, he gets buckets off the bench. I like that pick, man, but the only reason I would say I can't go with that is because is Trez the 6th man or is Lou Will the 6th man?
Like I said, it's co-6th man.
Now you can't connive no co-6th.
It really depends on who they're playing matchup wise, who they bring in the game first.
Okay, I can go with that, but still, unless you playing the Lakers, Rockets, Bucks, who's coming off the bench? Because those are the games you're mentioning as far as who come. Because with the Lakers, you need Trails off the bench first to go with AD because AD usually is still in the game when LeBron comes out.
If they playing the Rockets, they need Lou Will first.
Yeah, and then if they play the Bucks, they need Trez first, right? Uh-huh. So all the other games, who's coming off the bench first? Lou Will. So outside of the contending teams, which I get your point that Montrezl Harrell is probably going to be, the first one off the bench because they have a lot of bigs. Mm-hmm. But to me, without Lou, there is no Trez. I think Lou Williams sets up Trez for a lot of his buckets with the second unit. So with that being said, I'm pretty sure y'all can already tell who I'm gonna go with for my 6th man of the year, which is Sweet Lou. And you know what I'm saying? He went, 18 points per game, 3 rebounds, 5 assists, shot 41% from the field, 36% from 3. Now, with this one, I'm gonna be honest with you, Keezy, while we look at some of these highlights right here from Lou Williams. I was actually torn between the two. But hold on, it's not the two that you had. I was torn between Lou Will and Derrick Rose.
That was my other choice, Derrick Rose. But
I was looking, and then I was like, okay, well, let me look at what the Pistons done in the season. They was like 11th or 10th in the East.
That's why I couldn't pick him. Because although he's playing well, it's a non-factor.
I wanted to so bad, Keezy. I wanted to pick him so bad because his numbers is like 20. What's his numbers? I forgot what 18 points, 5 assists, 2
They're
rebounds.
all averaging right around the same numbers.
He's shooting 49% from the field, 30% 3-point, but he's never been a good 3-point shooter anyway. So 30% I'll live with that. But it's just the fact that he plays on a horrible team. So then I thought, Keezy, let me do some research. Has there ever been a 6th man that won on a horrible team? No. No. So I was like, and I started to think, I was like, well, maybe Lou Will has won it on the Clippers when they weren't that good. Wrong. And I was like, man, I just got to give it to Lou. If the Pistons were at least 5 or 6, I would give it to Derrick Rose. But just because of the simple fact, man, that they ain't got a losing record, I gotta go. I don't want to give it to Lou Will because it's almost getting repetitive now. Like we could just give
it's the Lou Williams
like
award.
we could just give it to him every single offseason, and I don't want to do that. But I mean, would you say he's the greatest 6th man ever?
Yes.
Over Manu?
Yes.
Wow. And my Lakers let him go. Damn Magic Johnson. But anyways, we gonna keep on going to the next award. As you can tell, things are starting to get a little spicy. So we gonna go with the next one, which is Defensive Player of the Year award. Keezy, go ahead.
I can't wait for this one.
Go ahead, Keezy, take it away. Who you got, man?
Woo! The Greek Freak.
Off top, is that who you got?
The Greek Freak, Defensive Player of the Year, baby.
Off top, huh? Just Greek Freak off top.
You want me to tell you why?
Go ahead. I'm listening. Why we
13.7 rebounds a game.
Okay.
Right? He can guard all 5. Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4. All 5 positions.
Okay.
He's too long for guards.
Okay.
He's too quick and athletic for a lot of forwards.
Okay.
And then he uses his athleticism and his quickness against the bigs.
Okay.
You can't. There's nothing you can do with Giannis.
Okay.
He's the most dominant player on both ends of the floor. He's Defensive Player of the Year.
Defensive Player of the Year for Giannis.
Yes.
You make a very compelling argument, my good man.
Who you got?
So I sat down and I said to myself, to me, it's a 2-man race. AD and Giannis, right? So I said, okay, look at AD. So I said, man, AD, I went next level stats here, kid.
Okay.
I went defensive win shares.
Okay.
And for those who don't know, defensive win shares is estimated the number of wins contributed by a person due to his defense. And AD's win shares are 4.1 and Giannis is 4.8. So I said, okay, Giannis barely got him right there. So I said, okay, let me look at defensive ratings. So I looked at the Lakers last year defensively. They were ranked 20th according to the NBA.com. I looked this year, they second. So I said, okay, well, only one man that has come on the team since then, one important man has come on the team since then that has taken their defensive ranking from 20th all the way to second. So I said, okay, well, let me look at his stats a little bit. So I went to the stats and I see 9.4 rebounds, 2.4 blocks, a little over a steal a game. So I said, okay, all right, okay. So this is building my case right here for AD to be.
And then where's your case get shot down?
Player of the Year. But then I said, you know what? I still got to go with Giannis.
There we go.
I did all that research to still go with Giannis for the Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, the Bucks have been ranked first defensively last year and this year. That's not a coincidence that them ranking first or second, first last year and this year defensively has to attribute to Giannis ascending at the same time, which last year he won the MVP. I thought he should have won Defensive Player of the Year award last year, but it's neither here nor there. But it's not a coincidence that as he's gotten better offensively, the team has gotten better defensively. And like you mentioned, it ain't a position that he can't guard on the floor.
Correct.
He has the length and the size now because he's bulked up to play the 5 if need be. He can play the 4, which is where they kind of really want to keep him at
most of the time. Yeah.
And then, you know, of course, he's quick enough, agile enough to stay with the 3s. He's long enough to be the 2. He's quick enough on his feet to guard some guards in certain situations. So there's like, man, there's just nothing defensively on the floor that this guy cannot do. And he makes up for so many mistakes
from his
on the
teammates.
floor.
Oh yeah.
They can do so many things defensively with Milwaukee because of Giannis and the things that he can do. It allows Eric Bledsoe to pressure up Chris Middleton to play the passing lanes because he knows if he shoots the gap and he misses, he got that 6'11", 7'1", 7'12", whatever he is, monster back there waiting that can rotate and cover. So, man, the things that Giannis does defensively, for those who watch basketball, really watch what he does on the defense. We know what he can do on offense, that's cool. But watch his rotations on defense and how quickly he covers and how much ground he covers and so much room with so much fast space to mask the mistakes of his teammates, man. So it was close for me, but the thing is the rebounds. Giannis, you said what, averages 13 rebounds, right?
13.7, yeah.
AD averages 9. AD, baby, you gotta hit the boards a little bit more than that. I 9 is cool, don't get me wrong, but AD's athletic ability, I know he doesn't want to play the 5, but you still got to get in there. And I know he has Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee, and they gobble up a lot of the rebounds. I get it. But playoff time comes, one of them ain't playing.
Somebody's not playing, correct.
You know what I'm saying? So they're going to have to go with Howard or McGee majority of the time. So AD's going to have to step that up in the playoffs, man. So that 9.4 rebounds is going to have to go to 11, 12 for them to make a deep playoff run. So, man, we okay.
I can't believe this.
I can't believe it.
I can't believe we actually agreeing on stuff. I know it's about to get crazy.
It is. So we gonna go ahead and keep it moving. And go to Rookie of the Year.
This should be easy.
Yeah,
this should be a sweep.
Ja
Morant.
I was gonna say I don't think neither one of us need to go any further with this one, man. Because I think
we don't even have to say much about him. Just peep the highlights.
We just gonna let the highlights play. Why y'all?
Here's what I want to know.
Go ahead.
Why didn't you pick Zion?
So the reason why I didn't pick Zion was easy, man, is because you got to think Zion only played 19 games.
Thank you. Okay.
And him playing 19 games, man, it sets a bad precedent for the rest of the awards. So I thought about it like this because Zion's stats is killing. I don't know if I got him right here in front of me.
He's like
Zion is 23 points per game, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, shoot 58%, 46% from 3. Like those stats is just fucking crazy. My bad, freaking crazy to begin with. But in 19 games, but let's say for instance, James Harden, knock on wood, gets injured next season and misses the first half of the season, doesn't come back until All-Star break. He comes back after All-Star break. Let's say he puts up historical numbers. Let's say he's averaging 35, 9, and 9. So then, does that exclude everybody else who put up work all year, and then you just give it to a guy who plays 20 to 25?
I think that would be unfair to Ja Morant. That would just be like, taking all his work and just stepping on him, squishing him like a bug.
His body of work speaks for it. He played in 56 games. Like that has to account for something. You can't say, okay, he played 56 games. Dude's gonna play 19, but his stats are better, so we're gonna go ahead and give it to him.
We'll give it to him.
We're gonna go, like you can't. That's horrible. Now, if all things considered, and if Zion would play from the beginning of the season, Zion probably would have won it hands down.
Yeah, he probably. I mean, if he could have been able to do the same numbers that he did, then he
just even remotely close to the numbers that he has, it would have been a runaway for him. But the thing is that Ja has his team fighting for their last playoffs.
They're in 8th position. For him to take that terrible Memphis team and from where they were last year, and now they're in 8th position, looking like they're gonna make the playoffs and go up against the Lakers in the first round, which that'll be a cakewalk for the Lakers. But for him to put his team in the position that they're in is pretty amazing for a rookie point guard to do.
Keezy, you know how many games the Grizzlies won last season?
12?
32.
32.
You know how many? No, 33. I'm sorry, 33. 33. You know how many games they won already?
33?
32.
32.
So him by himself has already gotten them one less win than they did all season long. And, unfortunately, they're only going to play 8 games, so he can only do so much better than the 33 that they won last year. But if they played 82, reason to believe that he probably would have got them to 37, 38 wins probably.
Yeah, I was gonna say more around the 40-ish range,
Yeah,
40 or 41. I think maybe they finished 500 on the season, which is an improvement for where they were last year.
Keezy, any win for the Grizzlies is an improvement on the season. Any win they get is an improvement, man. But yeah, Ja, easy rookie of the year, played 56 games, which was the majority of the season, got his team into the 8th spot, potentially 8th spot. Already has them on pace to beat last season's record without any real other really good superstar player. I mean, Dylan Brooks is an okay role player, but he's averaging 15, 16 points per game. Ja's averaging 18, but in order for Memphis to go to the next level, he's got to get some substantial help. So some big time free agents gonna have to come down there. Some players gonna.
He's coming as a rookie and he's leading the team, and he's basically their leader on the court.
He is the Grizzlies.
Yeah, he's the Grizzlies.
He basically is the Grizzlies. So rookie of the year was easy. So I mean, out of the 4 that we done been through, Keezy, we on par for 3 of them. Baby.
I still can't believe this.
We on par for 3.
I know it's about to fall off here in a few minutes.
It is. Go ahead. So we gonna keep the show rolling along. The next category we're gonna do is Coach of the Year.
You want to go first?
I'm gonna go first because
I'll let you go first because I know we disagree on this.
So Coach of the Year. So basically, I will say this is the thing we agreed on, that it was between 3 coaches, right? Mm-hmm. And I know a lot of people are saying, well, why not Doc Rivers or why not Frank Vogel or why not Mike Budenholzer? Those teams were expected to do what they're doing.
Correct.
So you can give it to the top coaches on the top teams. You can do that. But me personally, I would rather give it to a coach that is succeeding despite his team's circumstance. Like maybe they don't have a superstar. Maybe like Ja Morant, Taylor Jenkins. He only has Ja Morant, a rookie. So we agreed that the 3 candidates for this is Billy Donovan with the Thunder, Nick Nurse with the Raptors, and Taylor, is it Jenkins?
Something like that.
Jenkins with the Grizzlies.
See, I went outside the box on you. I switched it up on you. Go ahead.
Nah, but I when you had give me those 3 names, I was like, you know what? I can see where he's going with that because you had Billy D. I'm gonna get to that in a second. You had Nick Nurse with losing Kawhi. Then you had Taylor with Ja. So I said, you know what? This is making a lot of sense to me. So for this one, man, I'm going with Billy Donovan. I can't
be mad at that. I ain't mad at that.
And the reason why I want Billy Donovan is because he lost PG, lost Russ, he gained CP3, he got some nice pieces. I love the young kid, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander from
SGA.
I love his game. But for him to lose 2 top 10, top 12 players off of one team.
Westbrook's top 12? Go ahead, though.
We'll get to that in a second. For him to lose those 2 players in the same conference, no less, and still had, I think before the stoppage, the Thunder were in the 5th spot with Chris Paul, an aging veteran superstar. Billy Donovan has done one hell of a coaching job with that team, man. You have, what's the big man's name? Steven Adams, Chris Paul are pretty much the veterans of the squad, and everybody else is pretty much in the 1st or 2nd or up to the 5th year on the squad. And to get Chris Paul, who was a veteran, and Steven Adams, who's been there, so he doesn't really count, but to get Chris Paul to buy in to what Billy Donovan wants done, that's amazing. When you get to a certain level in the NBA, I'm pretty sure, like Chris Paul, there's nothing you can tell him.
Right, you can't coach me.
You can't coach me on anything. I've seen it all, done it all before you even get here, bro. So to get Chris Paul to buy into it, and on All the Smoke podcast, Chris Paul was on there, and he said that he talked a conversation with Billy Donovan, and he said, man, just be straight up with me. What do you want from me? And he said after that conversation, they got on the same page. So doing things like that is why I'm going to go with Billy Donovan for my Coach of the Year.
I almost went there for every reason you just said.
Okay.
Because I want to say that the Thunder finished 5th or 6th in the West last year.
Yeah.
And they're in the exact same spot.
Yeah. Okay.
So I went to the Eastern Conference.
Okay.
And went down to the 03-05 for my man Eric Spoelstra.
Okay.
So the Heat missed the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
And they back in, I think they're in 4th or 5th spot this year.
Okay.
So he's taking a young team because they get a lot of rookie contribution. Tyler Hero, Kendrick Nunn. They got
what's the kid?
Duncan Robinson.
Yeah,
Duncan Robinson. I want to say he's from the G League or whatever, and he came up and he got drafted, I think, in the second round.
Him and Tyler bringing white guys back.
Nah, they're not always back yet. Tyler's black though, he's just like Justin Timberlake. But anyways, so the Heat pick up Jimmy Butler. They lose D-Wade to pick up Jimmy Butler.
Right.
And then they got these rookies. And they got Bam.
Right.
So they made they made these little subtle moves, and they are in the 4th spot in the Eastern Conference.
Right.
And they're actually one of my sleeper teams that actually come out of the East.
I'm right there with you. Right there with you.
For him to have his team in that position, from missing the playoffs last year to 4th position this year, only picking up Jimmy Butler via free agency and taking these rookies and coaching them up, he's coach of the year for me.
You got Eric Spoelstra, coach of the year.
Yeah.
But see, you can go with Eric Spoelstra every year though, man. Like, he's one of the better coaches. I think he doesn't get enough recognition for what he does down in Miami, and I think it's because for the last few seasons, he's never really had a superstar type of player ever since the GOAT left. Dwayne Wade.
Michael Jordan never played for the Heat, although his jersey is in the rafters.
I don't know why the hell they got that boy's jersey hanging in the rafters, but
it's up there.
That's Miami's problem. But he's never had a person, because once he's gotten the talent, you can see what he can do with talent.
Correct.
And so I think he is. It's crazy to say, but I think he's very underrated. I think if you give him some talented players, and kudos to the Miami Heat program, they scouting department Their scouting department is ridiculous.
Their scouting department's in Lexington. All they do is pick Kentucky players.
And player development is ridiculous. Like, I can't be mad at Eric Spoelstra. You can actually almost give it to him every other year with the things that he does. You said they missed the playoffs last year, right?
Yeah.
And then now he's got them as a dark horse team in the playoffs. And I'm going to be right there with you, Keezy. We're going to talk about playoff predictions a little bit later. But I would not be surprised to see Miami make a late playoff rush. Depending on how the matchups fall.
Yeah, depending on how the matchups fall,
you could possibly see them in the Eastern Conference Finals. But we'll get to that in a second.
Yeah,
but anyways,
yeah.
Here we go. We're going to bring out the good stuff. It's time for the big
I'm ready for this.
It's time for the big gun. So now it is time for the MVP. So as I get this together right here. Now, this who you want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
I'll let you go first.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, God damn. So MVP, man. I know you gave three players, Chris Paul, LeBron, and Giannis. To me, it's a two player race.
It's right? Really two players.
Two-player race, which is LeBron and Giannis, right?
Correct.
So this is probably where we're gonna separate, man. I looked at Giannis. Bucks are 53-12 when the season stopped. Like you mentioned earlier in the show, his numbers was 29 points per game, 13 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 block. Free throws is kind of crap, shooting 66% free throws, but I mean, he's a big man.
Same as LeBron.
He's a big man, so that's expected.
What's LeBron shooting? 60.
You interrupting me.
I'm sorry.
You acting like Skip Bayless right
now. Go ahead.
And then, he's 30% from 3. That's not good, but it is an improvement over his career, and 54% field goal shooting. And I was like, okay, that's good. So then I went over to the west side for the GOAT. The Lakers are 49-14. LeBron is averaging 25 points per game, 7 rebounds, 10 assists, shooting 9 free throws, 34% from the 3-point line, 49% field goal. So I said, okay, so then it's time to get down to the nitty-gritty. So for me, my MVP, man, because it's so close, I'm going to have to go with the Greek Freak Giannis Antetokounmpo for my MVP. Yeah, I'm going with the Greek Freak for my MVP. It's been a while. It's been since Steve Nash, since we've had a back-to-back MVP player. A lot of people would be like, well, what about James Harden? Well, nah, he just now. And then here's my reason why I went with Giannis, man, and it's real simple for me, is that KD and Steph played together for 3 years, right? What was the knock? They can't be the MVP because they two top players playing, so they cancel each other out. So if we're gonna say that for them, we gotta say it for AD and LeBron.
But see, if we were gonna give somebody on the Lakers MVP, we'd have to give AD the MVP. And he leads the team in everything except assists.
And that's why I couldn't give it to LeBron, is because Anthony Davis, although it's a point here, a rebound there, But Anthony Davis leads the team, like you said, in points, rebounds, assists. I mean, not assists, points, rebounds, steals, and I think even blocks on
Blocks, yeah.
So how can I give LeBron the MVP when he doesn't lead his team in almost every major statistical category? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. So it pains my heart, but man, yes, I went with Giannis Antetokounmpo, the Greek freak, for my MVP, man. But go ahead, Keezy, say whatever you gotta say. Do whatever you gotta do, boy.
I am surprised. I wish I had a dictionary for some words to look up right now, because I cannot believe you did not give this to LeBron.
I know. Can you just say what you got to say and hurry this part up?
I agree with everything you said. I just cannot believe you did not give this to LeBron.
I couldn't.
What'd you eat for breakfast the last few days?
I couldn't, man.
Are you sick?
What I ate for breakfast, I can't say on the air, but but man, you just basically, like we just said, man, you can't give it to a guy who's second on the team in major statistical categories. Like it just doesn't make logical sense. Now, you could say LeBron's impact on the floor might be greater than Giannis. That's debatable. That's
very
debatable. But that's the only thing that's debatable between them two is impact on the floor, because everything else, defensively, we already know LeBron doesn't sit in the chair no more. He's better this year than he was last year, but reason why? He got AD behind him. Mm-hmm. So now he can play, he can push up, he can do certain things, versus last year he didn't have nobody behind him. And so
he was scared somebody was going to take him to the rack.
And rightfully so. You know what I'm saying? Rightfully so. So, and of course, LeBron is up in age, so he can't sit down too much. But when he plays the Paul Georges and the Kawhi, you got to sit down some, bro. You got to get in that chair and sit down some. But Giannis, man, what doesn't he do offensively? What doesn't he do defensively? You know what I'm saying? So.
Oh man, I don't even have to say anything. You already said everything for me. The Greek freak for MVP and Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be the fifth player. I think if 4 players have previously won MVP and Defensive Player of the Year in the same year. Man, I want to say it's KG, Olajuwon.
I don't want to do this no more.
The GOAT, Michael Jordan.
I don't want to do this no more.
I think there's one other player, so I think that he's going to be the 5th person to win MVP and Defensive Player of the Year in the same year.
I don't want to do this no more.
Man, this has been so easy. I can't believe this.
I don't want to do this shit no more.
I can't believe it. I had notes and stuff written down everywhere to tell you why LeBron won MVP, and I didn't even have to use any of this. I worked so hard for nothing.
You just knew I was going to go with LeBron.
I knew you were going to pick LeBron.
Knew I was going to go.
I was surprised you didn't pick LeBron for Rookie of the Year, Most Improved Player, 6-man coach.
All the above.
All of it.
Oh, it trust me, it hurts my heart, man. It does. I almost want to bring a tear to my eye, man. But
so two things about MVP.
Okay.
So the first one, the main reason why I think LeBron won't win is because somebody checked me on this though. But I don't think there's ever been an MVP who was not the leading scorer on his team.
That makes sense.
And since AD's leading scorer, then that pretty much kicks LeBron out of the argument.
So hold on, Steve Nash, he wasn't the leading scorer, was he? I would like to say Amar Stoudemire was the leading scorer of that team.
That's the only one I could think of that may have been that may have been even close. But we'll look it up and check it out. But I heard somebody on one of these sports networks, some guy used to play in the NBA, big burly, goofy looking dude.
Here we go, man.
And he loves LeBron.
Uh-huh.
And he said that you couldn't give MVP to AD because LeBron was making the game so easy for AD. When AD's making the game easier for LeBron.
I was gonna say it might be the opposite. That AD might be making the game a little bit easier.
AD's making the game easier for everybody on the Lakers.
I would agree with that. See, that's the thing about me, Keezy, that a lot of people don't know. I'm an objective LeBron James fan.
No.
I'm very objective. I have no problem with saying AD does make the game easier for LeBron because LeBron is 35, so he needs the game to be a little bit easier for him. So I don't mind that. I don't mind it at all. But we all know, and I'm looking dead in the camera when I say this, but we all know when crunch time comes, who the ball going to?
It better go to Anthony Davis. It better go down low to AD.
We all know when crunch time comes.
I tell you what, when they play the Clippers, the last 6 minutes of the game, AD should be getting heavy buckets, heavy touches down low.
He can get touches.
If he don't get heavy touches down low, they will not beat the Clippers.
He can get touches.
We can write that down right now. What's today?
Today is the 23rd.
July 23rd.
July 23rd.
If AD doesn't get heavy touches against the Clippers, they will lose.
I'm gonna have to disagree with that. I am wholehearted. Why I looked this up right quick, man.
I still can't believe you. I'm still can't believe you didn't pick LeBron. I can't believe this.
Why would I pick LeBron?
I'm gonna buy me a lottery ticket tonight.
Why would I pick LeBron?
I gotta win.
Why would I pick LeBron?
Because you pick LeBron for everything.
LeBron is okay, man. He's decent. LeBron is okay.
Oh boy.
He's okay, but he's not real, as the kids say. But anyways, let's go on to our playoff predictions, man. Keezy, while I get this loaded up real quick. Let me know what you got coming out the East and who you got in the Eastern Conference. Well, who you got in the Eastern Conference Finals first.
Eastern Conference Finals.
Yes.
This is gonna sound crazy,
but
I'm not gonna pick the team that's gonna have the MVP and Defensive Player of the Year on it. I got a feeling that they're gonna get upset by some team out of Miami.
You don't know who, but it's just
one team in Miami that I think was gonna give them problems.
Okay.
So my picks for Eastern Conference Finals are gonna be the Boston Celtics against the Miami Heat.
I have so many problems with that.
Well, that's all right.
Okay,
that's okay.
So
what's your problem?
Before we get to who you got winning that matchup, you said Boston Celtics versus the Miami Heat. So in order for that to happen, one of the teams would obviously have to be a 1 or 3 seed, and then the other teams would have to be a 5 or a 7, 8 seed. I just don't see that happening for so many different reasons. Celtics, they're currently 3rd in the East, behind the Bucks, Raptors. So
the Heat are 4th.
Okay, so you would have the matchups this season that you have. So you would have the Celtics playing the Bucks up top. Okay.
This is just predictions now.
Yeah,
we don't know how it's going to fall.
We don't know. This is just as of right now. If all things feel considered like they are now. So Celtics, I'm just gonna say it. You think the Celtics could beat the Bucks? I ain't gonna say 76ers because 76ers are trash to me.
Yes, and I don't have faith in the Toronto Raptors.
No, I think they're done.
So that leaves 3 teams.
So Bucks,
the Bucks,
Heat,
the Celtics, and the Heat.
Okay. Now the Miami Heat, I would give them a puncher's chance against the Celtics. But ain't no way in hell I'm giving them a chance against the Bucks. Ain't no way in hell. Although I did hear this is that Giannis points per game drops when he plays against the against the Miami Heat. He has his worst games against the Miami Heat.
Eric Spoelstra knows something.
So although that little bit of tidbit might give me a cause to pause, but I just don't. But he just got me all frustrated with this one. I don't even know where to begin, man. Celtics and the Miami Heat for the Eastern Conference Finals. So that means either the Celtics or the Miami Heat are beating the Milwaukee Bucks, bro.
So what does everybody try to do against the Bucks?
Make Giannis shoot.
Yes, everybody tries to pack it in
on the floor.
and make somebody else beat them other than Giannis, or let Giannis take 55 shots and keep everybody else from shutting
either one. Yeah.
So that's the game plan, and we know in the playoffs,
build the wall.
The game's gonna slow down a little bit.
Okay.
They'll build that wall inside, and I mean he got Eric Bledsoe, Chris Middleton,
Streaky,
Lopez. Both the Lopez's,
which really don't make a difference.
Dante DiVincenzo or whatever his name is. Who else?
I'm out of options.
Thank you. And you go to the Celtics, you got Jason Tatum.
Okay.
You got Jaylen Brown.
Show enough.
You got Kemba Walker.
Show enough.
Do I need to add anybody else?
No, you can go.
Marcus Smart.
You can even throw Gordon Hayward if you want to.
Gordon, I didn't even name him.
If you want to.
Okay. Then you go with the Heat. We got Jimmy Butler.
Okay.
We got the most improved player, Bam.
Okay.
We got these 2 rookies, Kendrick Nunn and Tyler Hero.
Let me stop you right there.
But
do you expect them to perform big in the playoffs, though? The rookies and Bam. The rookies and Bam. Jimmy Butler's been there.
They've performed well all year, so I don't think it's going to be any different. Now, if they were traveling across, from place to place, moving around, all that, different hotel rooms, then I think it might have an effect on them. They're all in the same spot.
Okay.
They don't have to worry about, don't have to worry about anything. So
Okay, I see what you're
everybody's
saying.
there together, so it's gonna be different this year. So I think they're gonna.
Wow. See, the part of me likes the Miami Heat pick, but a part of me is like, nah, it's brother tripping.
If you don't guard that 3-point line against the Miami Heat, you are in trouble.
But see, the reason why I like Miami's chances, the reason why you talked about it earlier, is the coach. Eric Spoelstra, man. I just don't think he gets enough credit, and he could. I like it, but I don't like it that damn much. But it, so me, mine's just easy for real. I mean, depending on how this thing shakes out, I don't foresee the Raptors holding on to the 2 seed.
No.
I do see the Celtics jumping up and snatching that, so that'll put my prediction of Bucks Celtics right on cue. Now, this is where it gets tricky for me. I'm gonna just go ahead and go into my prediction, and you can come in. The Celtics have, like you just alluded to, 4, possibly 5 guys on any given night can give you 20. You know what I'm saying? Kemba can get you 20 plus on any given night. Jason Tatum's gonna do what Jason Tatum do.
He can get you 40.
He can get you 40 on any given night. Jaylen Brown, he can shut down. Well, he can contain your best player on defense
and get 20.
Gordon Hayward, he can chip in with 15 to 20. Marcus Smart can give you 15 to 20
and give somebody a headache
on
the defensive end.
You see what I'm saying? So, and they're coached by Brad Stevens, a well good coach as well. But if Giannis does not get to the finals this year, I think for one, this is over. 2, he's gone.
I think he's gone no matter what.
Because, yes, and like you said in the playoffs, the game shortens up. You know, you're packing the floor, and the Bucks are great defensively, so they have no problems with shutting down or containing your players. It's what will Giannis do, though? You know what I'm saying? It goes back to the old knock on LeBron, which is make him shoot. And LeBron took care of that.
Yes, it took us some time.
It took him some time, but he eventually took care of that to where you respected his jumper. Now, he ain't no killer out there, but you respect it. They still don't respect Giannis' jumper.
Nah.
So it's like, as far as jumpers, it's like Ben Simmons, then Giannis. You know what I'm saying? And so
Westbrook.
Westbrook. Yeah, no. So I would put Ben, Westbrook, and then Giannis. But so man, Giannis is my MVP, our MVP. But I just don't think the Bucks have enough offensive firepower to keep up with Milwaukee. I mean, keep up with the Boston Celtics, and Boston Celtics can also throw so many bodies at Milwaukee as well. So I got Celtics, Bucks in the Eastern Conference Finals, and I got the Celtics moving on
Celtics
to the NBA.
Celtics to the NBA Finals.
Okay, so
we agreed on that too?
Okay, yeah.
Oh man, this is crazy.
This show's going a lot better than I thought it was going to be. So yeah, only because I feel like the Celtics just got too much firepower, and it's just tailor made. But this is where everything comes up tricky. So we're gonna move on to the Western Conference Finals, and the Western Conference Finals. Of course, it's obvious. It's Lakers Clippers.
Yeah.
Lakers Clippers.
So here's where it gets tricky at.
Okay.
Is who we have winning the West.
So, man.
Since I went first in the East, I'll let you go first.
So the West, like you said, we got Lakers Clippers, right? Oh man, this is tough. Lakers and Clippers. So Clippers got a deep bench. Everybody knows that, right?
Lakers have a deep bench. Everybody knows that.
So Clippers can throw Lou Will, Montrez, Morris boys. Even Joakim Noah can get in there and get some time if he, so choose to. And then on the Lakers side, Rondo will be back by the time the playoffs come. Avery Bradley not being there did hurt them some, but
he was playing great.
I know that hurts him some, but you got Deion Waiters and J.R. Smith, who are basically the same damn player to me. You got the other Morris boy, JaVale McGee on the bench. So everything is well matched up, man. But it all falls on one person, man. Anthony Davis.
Yes, that's what I was saying. That's what I've been saying.
It all falls on Anthony Davis. LeBron gonna do what LeBron gonna do. Kawhi gonna do what Kawhi gonna do. The matchup is who wins the Paul George and Anthony Davis. Now I know I'm not saying that they guarding each other.
Right, I know what you're saying.
But
who's gonna contribate more out of that duo?
Those are the X factors, the Paul George and the Anthony Davis, because at various points of the game, they're going to be the two focal points on the floor when Kawhi and obviously LeBron come off the floor. So offense is going to run through those two. So when the offense runs through those two, which team takes a drop off? That's where it's going to go down. And for me, I'm gonna say the LA team goes to the finals.
I'm thinking Los Angeles to go to the finals.
I'm gonna pick the team from Los Angeles to go to the finals, but man,
the purple and gold, or we going with the red and blue?
Purple and gold for me. Purple and gold.
And see, now I'm just the opposite. I'm gonna go with the other team in LA.
Purple and gold, and I'm gonna let you give your.
Everybody in LA is playing for Kobe, right?
Of course.
Everybody's playing for Kobe.
Of course.
But like I said, if they give AD the ball, they got a good chance of winning.
Right.
If the ball goes anywhere, J.R. Smith, Dion Waiters,
Rondo,
even LeBron,
yes,
real heavy at the end of the game. If they don't go to AD, they don't have a chance against. Well, they have a chance, but they're not going to beat the Clippers.
You know what?
You look at the first two games when they played. AD was real heavy early in the game, first 3 quarters. Fourth quarter, his shots went down.
Yeah.
And they lost. So if they don't go, because nobody on the Clippers can guard him.
You know what? I agree.
Joakim Noah's gonna help because he's got a lot of energy, but there's a lot of bodies to throw at AD. They can try to wear him down. That's their only hope, is to try to wear him down.
And that's why I went with the Lakers, is because of AD. I feel like when it comes down to crunch time, Paul George or Kawhi is gonna guard LeBron. Okay, so does that mean they put one other on AD?
No, I think they'll have.
And see,
I think they're just gonna send double teams. They're gonna send bodies at him, but it's gonna be tough though because the Lakers got J.R. Smith now. We know that he's gonna knock some threes down.
So now that and of course they got Pope Conte, whatever that boy's name, that car dealership, Contavious Willow Pope, whatever. So
KCP.
KCP.
Yeah.
So the Lakers have 3 players who do the same thing. I forgot all about Kuz. I forgot all about him. But he's so streaky. He's streaky. So
at best.
One game he'll get you 25. The next game he'll come up with 8.
2.
He said 2.
and he'll foul out.
And he'll foul out. So that's why I went with the Lakers, man. Mainly because of Anthony Davis and the fact that I don't think the Clippers will have an answer for AD late in ball games. And he's a good free throw shooter, so that means he can stay on the floor late in ball games. And they're gonna try not to foul him. And if they do, you trust him to make his free throws. But yeah, Kawhi and Paul George. Look, man, this is my take on that thing. I don't trust Kawhi, and I definitely don't trust Paul George.
You don't trust Kawhi?
I don't trust Kawhi. I don't.
You don't trust a man that's gonna shoot over 80% from the free throw line?
Nope. When I say
you don't trust a man that's got a deadly mid-range jump shot?
Nope. Don't trust the boy.
Okay.
This is why I don't trust him though.
Okay.
When he won his first title with the Spurs, he was a young pup, but he won the NBA Finals MVP, right? But he was behind 3 other Hall of Fame players and a Hall of Fame coach. Cool. Last year, he had every quote unquote lucky break you can get.
Yeah.
KD getting hurt, and then Clay getting hurt. And then, the lucky shot against the 76ers that bounced around 97 times. And then, Kawhi.
That shot went in, but they were still going to go to overtime regardless. So he still had a chance to win the game. Carry on.
Carry on, man. So, my thing is that fully healthy, I've never seen Kawhi be the leader of a team going against another team that's fully healthy. What does he do? A championship team. Now, the 76ers were fully, well, I wouldn't even say they was fully healthy because Joel Embiid kept going in and out of the lineup with stomach virus and whatever else. So I wouldn't even count.
I never picked the 76ers.
And then, of course, he played against, he beat the Milwaukee Bucks with Giannis, but, the Bucks took the first 2 games and then the Raptors came back and won 4 straight. But this team against the Lakers will be, I think, far the best team Kawhi has faced where he is the leader. Do I trust him to come through with that? Do I trust Paul George to come through? That's why
you have to trust Kawhi.
I don't trust the boy.
Have you looked at his stats?
First of all, I ain't got to trust nobody.
Have you looked at his numbers?
They cute.
Nah.
They cute.
He is consistent. He's gonna get his numbers matter what.
He definitely is. But this is the first time that Kawhi has been the undisputed leader of a championship contending team, because going into last season, nobody picked the Raptors to win it all, right? So
that's because everybody thought the Warriors were going.
So, but the thing is, nobody had them going to the finals. You had them going to the finals last season?
I mean, anybody can come out of the East,
Boy,
in my
you
opinion.
on dope or dog food, boy. I tell you, but
The 8 seed can come out of the East,
so no, there was no really preconception like, okay, yeah, they're contending now. Everybody thought they would be a playoff team, but nobody considered them.
Nobody really thought they were gonna win it all.
So now expectations Kawhi has, and now he has Paul George. And let me tell you this: when Paul George has had pressure in OKC, how'd that turn out?
But he was playing with Westbrook.
I don't give a damn.
He's playing with Westbrook.
I don't give a damn.
Everybody has played with Westbrook has what?
KD got to the finals.
Failed. Everybody has failed.
KD
with
got to the finals.
He got to the finals, but everybody has failed.
And Paul George is better than KD, so there's that.
Paul George is better than KD.
Now let me quit.
Listen, man.
I know
they're gonna take so much heat off each other. They're a better fit than him and Westbrook were ever gonna be.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Because Paul George is not James Harden.
I'll give you that.
Westbrook and James Harden fit better together than in the style of play they have than what they were trying to do in OKC.
Yeah, you got two guns. I mean,
yeah, just two guns.
You're gonna
just
shoot
go,
all day.
You know?
Yeah, so that's that.
You don't have to worry about coming to the sideline saying, "Bro, you done shot the ball 15 times in a row and you only made 3 of them. Why you get the ball up?
Can I touch the peel?
I was wide open.
Can I play?
Why didn't you at least throw it to the corner? Let me touch it. Look at it. I ain't even felt the ball yet, and you still shooting.
Can I play?
So, I mean, you put the Clippers together, brother. It's such a better fit for Paul George to play with Kawhi.
I give you that.
They got Doc Rivers.
I give you that.
They got Lou Williams.
Okay.
They got Montrez.
Okay.
6 man.
Okay. Okay.
They picked up one of the Morris twins.
Yeah.
They picked up Joakim Noah.
Uh-huh.
They got big Zubats in the middle.
They do. They got bodies.
I mean, they got Landry Shamet.
I
think Landry Shamet is probably on record as probably one of the ugliest people in the NBA.
Well, we got Jared Dudley. So y'all got one of the ugliest. We got one of the biggest. So they cancel each other out. So we even. He's you know what I'm saying. We got Winnie the Pooh out there. So we even. But I'm going with the Lakers. You got who?
I'm going with the Clippers.
You just don't like.
And I know we both agree on this. Whatever team comes out of the West is going to win the NBA championship.
Oh, without a doubt.
Another reason I'm gonna pick the Clippers is because the Lakers aren't gonna. It's gonna go 7 games. Okay. You agree with that?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And so the Lakers aren't going to have that home court advantage that they've had every time they play the Clippers so far.
Agreed.
It's supposed to be a Clippers home game,
but it's still.
But
Lakers.
It's 80% Lakers fans in the building.
I agree with that.
So now that home court advantage for the Lakers is gone.
I agree with that.
It's on. LeBron's about to be real sick.
My dude said it's on. Yeah. Nah. I still think the Lakers is 80. And I hate picking the Lakers because of Anthony Davis, because people gonna be like, see, I told you he's better than LeBron. And it's like, no, man, it's just
he's the best player on that team.
So that concludes our NBA weekly recap show. I'm not gonna do this.
If you disagree with me, it don't matter.
I'm not gonna do this because that is a blasphemous statement. But anyways, we're gonna get on up out of here. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. Please make sure you like, share this video. Also make sure that you watch our Beyond the Game Sports Talk show on Mondays and Tuesdays at 6 p.m. on Facebook Live. Follow the page, Instagram page at I think it's Beyond the Game, KY Beyond the Game. The YouTube page, KY Beyond the Game. The Facebook page at Beyond the Game KY. You can also find all of our previous shows on podcasts, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, Google Play Store, whatever streaming service you have a podcast, you can find us on there. We will be doing our NBA Weekly Recap show every single week, so be sure to tune in. We got the scrimmages going on right now. I don't know about you, Keezy, but I ain't paying too much of the scrimmages because they
really don't mean anything.
Ben Simmons hit a 3 the other day. I mean, what the hell does that mean?
He shot 2 of them. I can't believe it.
He ain't gonna do that in the regulars. He did that last preseason and has gone 0 for 1.
He had to get a sports psychologist to help him shoot more threes.
I seen that. Like, bro, you getting paid a max contract and you need somebody to tell you to shoot?
It's okay, Ben. You can do it.
What?
Come on, man.
I wish I might pay somebody max contract and I gotta get you a psychiatrist to tell you to shoot the damn ball. But I think Ben Simmons is the most overrated basketball player in the NBA. Hands down. There's no guy got a max contract, 6'10", but can't hit over 15. But anyways, because people be like, well, Giannis can't, but at least Giannis is trying to expand his range.
He has expanded his range.
Ben Simmons won't even try to expand his range.
And it don't count in these summer pickup games.
Nah, this AU ball, it don't count. But we're going to get on up out of here. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. Make sure you check us out next week as well. For Keezy and me, we out of here.
Peace.